And our GSL player starts to the top right of the map. In the red, we have our Zerg. These introductions are just weird.
Yeah.
Bottom right, Caspar player, Terran. Boom. There you go. And, well, on this map, we've actually seen a lot of crazy strategies. A lot of Terran players actually also going for a little bit of early aggression. Well, not only a little bit, we've seen double barracks, not only once. But yeah, let's find out what exactly they're going to do.
Yeah.
For our Terran, of course, well, I think at this point it's probably not the best decision to actually think about who it could be. But we would love to see in reality.
Yeah, we just need a little bit more time before we can start to figure this out. I think that reality would be a great choice for Caspar to kind of showcase their play, considering how good he is these days, especially with his recent results. There's a lot of choices as well. We may have someone like Flash, who's been doing really well right now. There are a ton of other Terrans out there. Right now, most Caspar players that are doing well seem to be Protoss, but there are a few good Terrans, and Flash is someone I think everybody wants it to be. And we are going to see a Command Center first. I don't know. It's starting to... That's one hint we may have here.
Command Center first right away. And at the same time, the Cross Scout. Cross Scout, an Overlord to the left, so now he knows that his opponent is starting at the bottom right. Actually, no, he does not know. The Overlord pattern is not really all that conclusive.
No. There's the barracks going down, though. And we'll see if this is going to be super greedy, like double gas before second barracks. That's super rare, but it does happen every now and then.
Now he moves in with the drone, and now he knows that already knows that it's the command center first. And well, he will have to send another SCB over in order to protect this one. This one is actually has a pretty good chance of dying. Not going to happen. He sends two over, one to fight the drone and one to make sure that the command center is being finished in time. The double barracks, there it is.
Yeah, he's trying to delay this command center. It's always frustrating as a Terran. It's one of the skills you have to learn when you begin playing Terran is just to defend against worker harass. Look at how annoying this drone has been, how little he's denied the command center because of how, how aggressive the Caspar player was at denying him. He didn't hesitate for a second to pull another worker down there. If he had, he may have lost one or had to lose a little bit more build time there. Really nicely executed by both players, though. The drone gets out safe, and he didn't even have to use a repair. So something we don't talk about too much, but I will say is a difficult thing as a Terran to get used to get accustomed to.
The double gas on him being built for the Caspar player. After the double barracks, he goes straight for gas in order to start his tech. And the Zerg so far not eager to take a third base or anything like it. He will probably just now try to tech himself, and of course he needs to defend a little bit against potential alien play that we might see out of his opponent. But he knows that with the gas first, he's not facing any pressure that's going to hit him too early. So he has some time left, can rely on the queens.
Yeah, he's also seen the double barracks, so he knows that it's not going to be the greedy double gas follow-up to the command center first, so he's got a lot more time than he might otherwise have.
He's going for 2 additional queens here, so at this point, no gas at all, just queens. Uses lava for the drones. This will give him a quite very significant harvester count. And with the additional energy that he has, he can now spread the creep, and the queens will be enough to force marines back at this point. Without stim or without the number, marines are not going to be a problem.
Yeah. He's getting a factory, but also adding right now a tech lab and a reactor to both of his barracks. He's going to deny this Overlord scout. I think the Zerg, he didn't actually get to see any of that, and he's going to still die. I think that was the wrong choice to try to flee there, as we could have actually seen, but that's something I guess he wouldn't know 100%. If the barracks were slightly more to the left, he would have died regardless, but that Overlord was a coward, and in the end, it doesn't pay off.
That is a lot of queens, by the way.
Yeah. In total 6.
That's already 6 queens that he has here.
He's going to reactor out some Hellions, but with the way that he's making these add-ons, I think that he's actually just going to switch with the starport very soon. As soon as he makes that, maybe make 6 Hellions. And those 6 queens, look at how fast they're starting to spread that creep. And at these positions, this is great.
I'm wondering if this is actually a TSL Zerg.
It could be.
The way he plays, a lot of queens, very economy based, making sure that he has the creep spread out there. Could be a TSL Zerg. Doesn't have to, but still.
I love how aggressive he is at killing these rocks with the queens as well. He spreads creep, and then when he doesn't have the energy to do so, he's killing the rocks and sends the queens back over. There's one cancel on the tomb. He may cancel 2 more. Nice. Look at that aggressive creep spread. Not even going to force a cancel there as much as he wants to. Starport is coming up here, so it is going to be a total of 6 Hellions before he makes the switch. Starts producing medevacs. Double Evo Chambers not yet being used as he gets a Baneling Nest here.
I love the Overlord positioning for our Zerg. Just look at how he positions his Overlord across the map. We have 2 at the top left, 2 of them will make sure that there's no drop incoming. Between the 2 bases there are another 2. He has a few units at the base between the 2 mains in order to make sure that there are no run-bys, no units. An Overlord to the bottom left is now just moving in. So this is actually like really cool. The Hellions have a bit of trouble against the Queens, who may be a little bit too over-eager walking off creep here, but in order to spread the creep, that's basically what they have to do. And he has 14 to 15 creep tumors already.
Yeah.
This is insane. This guy is really good at spreading his creep.
Yeah, he may be, you know, this may be a TSL Zerg. It may even be Seal, for example, from Minnesota. With this move out though from our Kespa Terran, he's got a lot of Marauders in the mix. It's going to be something he struggles to deal with. But since he saw it early with that Overlord you mentioned coming to the south, he's making a ton of Lings already. He had that Baneling Nest prepared. He's making 11 Banelings. A few scans would be problematic for the creep, but I don't know if he's actually going to go for that. I think he's just going to fight here.
And there are a lot of Marauders as well. He's trying to fight, but the Lings are ready, and we also have Banelings. He's trying to make sure that these are not getting away. And the Hellions, of course, they can't do too much. They're running right into the Queens, and there they are. That's Banelings detonate immediately. And if I would have to bet money on the team of the Zerg player, I would actually say this is a TSL player. Seal has also a great creep spread, but this style with the Zergling Ling, Zergling Baneling, and straight into Mutalisk, this is more the trademark.
It looks like
TSL Zerg.
Yeah, it looks kind of peony, to be honest, at this point. He's actually going to clear up some of this creep in the middle. Finally deciding to do that. His combat shield's nearly finished. When he saw how many Lings were already out, he was like, I'm not going to fight this. Not without combat shields especially.
I like how smart the Terran player is here. He moves onto creep and he knows exactly that he's in a bit of danger, because what the Zerg tries to do the entire time is just make sure that he cannot retreat. As soon as he has this pocket around the Terran units, he can just move in with the Banelings and take everything out. But the Terran player moves back exactly when he has to.
Yeah.
These retreats are so well timed.
He was really patient and didn't even scan earlier, because once he scans, he knows he's vulnerable, because either the Zerg is going to attack during that timing so that he can't kill the tumors, or... I mean, I like how he's executed this. He saw the rocks were still there, he got a little bit tempted, but decided not to commit, and he's still, right now, he's on the edge of the creep. He's basically saying, come at me. You can get off of here whenever I want.
He's trying to bait him. He's trying to just occupy him, to tell him, okay, well, come over, let's fight a little bit. As soon as I want, I can just retreat. But now he has to be careful, because now we have the Mutalisk in play. And here he sees the drop.
Yeah, the Overlord's actually from the south, from the north disappeared. Oh, going to pick up here. He's got to be careful, though, with these Mutas, but the drop to the north is going to be a problem with all those Mutas and Lings away.
Oh, he clears the drop at the bottom, and here we have the attack to the top left that you were just talking about.
The Zerg player looking really good at defending these so far. Going to clean up that last Marine, wasting a Baneling there, though.
But he pulled those Overlords off, didn't he?
Yeah. Bit surprising.
That's a bit odd, yeah.
No Viking to chase them.
Exactly. I checked for the Viking in a few seconds as well, because, well, maybe there was one die, but I don't think that we missed one, so he must have pulled the Overlords off for some reason.
Yeah, a bit strange. Maybe trying to...
Even though he spotted the drop a little bit later, he was still able to defend very well against it. 63 against 64 Harvesters at this point.
Yeah, the third base is up for the Terran, and there are a ton of Banelings out on the map, and Baneling speed isn't done, but it's about to be. There's got to be careful against those 2 siege tanks, though. If he targets well on those Banelings, he's definitely going to need speed. And now it finishes. The scan reveals the speed finished as well. He cleared up a lot of creep with these scans. Fourth base of the Zerg is being started right now. And he's only got the 2 turrets at his natural. The Mutalisk may actually try to avoid them and attack reinforcing units, attack add-ons. I'm not sure about attacking this location, though. The wall was not lowered, and that's a lot of Banes.
Exactly, and the Banelings, they are in already, and they are just heading towards the 3rd base. The rest of them is trying to defend. But look at this, very well split, but he's losing still a fair amount of SCVs. 13 lost in total, and there are units in his main. Oh, those 2 in the main base, they really did a lot of damage. At the 3rd, he defended well, but the main, that's something that he did not account for, and now he lost 40 SCVs already.
Yeah. His worker count is now severely diminished, now down to 30 SCVs against 73. And this type of attacking is something that we've actually seen a lot from Zerg players recently. I can think of a few players, you know, Hyun, one of them, Leenock recently playing this style a little bit, and Lucira kind of always playing like this, I would say.
He's just trying to buy a little time. He needs more army, and he knows it, because the Terran player has actually quite a large army. And now 29 Banelings already, a lot of Zerglings, still a few Mutalisks, not too many though, but he needs to defend against this. If he crushes this army, his economy will be so much better. And there he moves in now. Nah, not quite yet, tries to catch the reinforcements first.
Yeah, he's picking off a tank with these Mutas to the south. This army is still quite strong, but here we go. Here comes the flank. There's so many Banelings on both sides.
Yeah, the siege off with the siege tanks triggered the attack, and he's able to take nearly everything out. Now the Queens are doing a lot of damage too, trying to chase down the Marines and give the Medivacs a beating. But yeah, 130 for supply against 78 with the worker count as it is, 73 against 30. The Zerg here in very good shape.
Yeah, he's got, you know, he lost a lot of creep in the center, but because his creep is so good at the north, he's got so many tumors, he actually starts sending those towards the south to reconnect with the tumors he's remaking with Queens right now in the middle, and his creep will actually recover quickly if there's no next Terran attack very soon. And if there's another Terran attack very soon, I mean, well, he's got too few units, and the Zerg's going to be pretty happy about that. No 4th command center just yet for our Kespa Terran, and he can't afford to make it right now. His units are too low. He's not going to be able to hold a 4th base very easily.
He has to hope for a mistake. At this point, this is what he really needs, what he wants. Just trying to, I don't know, there's not a lot that he can do at this point, to be honest with you. He is so far behind in supply, he has to hope that his opponent is playing a bit too greedy, but this is not what the Zerg player does. He's building 16 additional drones, but only after he reinforced his army. So his army is in a position where he can defend. Now he increases his drone count, starts his tech. He makes sure that he is able to throw everything back that the Terran might have.
Well, and he may just be able to do it since the tanks are unsieged here. A great split, though, from our Kespa Terran. This is something we have not really seen Kespa Terrans be good at so far.
Yeah, it was actually a really, really good split, but there are too many units. He needs to focus the Baneling. The Baneling is dead. He's trying, well, he actually thinks about sniping another Medivac, but then that just retreats, and once again his lava count enables him to get the Zerglings in order to defend here. Saturating 4 bases at this point, a great economy for the Zerg player. 60 to supply ahead. He's getting all the tech that he needs.
The Terran just cannot afford to produce out of all of his barracks right now. He's trying. He can't start 3-3. He's just so low on SCVs. He's trying to rebuild those. He can't afford everything. He still has a decent medevac count. That's something that you mentioned. You know, the Muse were trying to pick those off. He couldn't quite get them. So he doesn't have to spend money and gas on those. But even rebuilding his Marines and his tanks is so expensive. He does bite the bullet here and start +3. It's a lot of resources invested, but it's something he really needs right now.
The Grievesberg is advancing farther to the left, where he's probably going to take another base fairly soon. And this also forces the Terran to stim over and over and over again. This is exactly what he has to do and what he doesn't want to. With the economy as it is, he wants to use mules, but he can't. He has to save up energy for the scans to force the creep back.
Yeah, he's only got 1 tank a second when joining in here with this army. With all the Banelings on the map, there's already 30 of them out. He's getting 3-3 right now with the Adrenal Glands. This is not a fight he's likely to win. As you said earlier, it's basically he's hoping for the Zerg to make a mistake. Unless this Kespa player is as good at splitting as Polt is, for example, this just will not happen. He may try to break this siege line with Investors. I don't think so, though. I think, well, He actually will, and he's going to send his Lings in here. This could have been better executed, I feel, but either way, I think there's just way too many Zerg units, Infestors or not.
There is way too much right now, and of course already the Mutalisks are trying to take down the Medivacs while the Zerglings are chasing every single tank on the map. There's just not enough. He takes another beating, is down to 97 supply now against Zerg, who not only has 170 supply, but also the bank. He's going for Ultralisks here. He has the +3/+3 on his way, as you mentioned. Adrenal Glands halfway way done. Ultralisks are not the only choice. He's also going for the Greater Spire, and he can certainly afford it, even taking a 5th base.
Yeah, 5th base going up, and that creep that I talked about earlier, even with all the attacks from the Kespa Terran through the center, how much he scanned, if the creep has finally gone around that little hole in the middle of the map, he's about to be able to hold that Watchtower with creep again. Not going to fight these tanks. This is something that Kespa Terran would love to see, but he's just kind of checking around, seeing what sort of composition is there. He's got a burrowed Zergling at the 4th. Knowing there's no 4th base there is just all the Zerg needs at this point. As soon as his Greater Spire finishes, he's going to get those Broodlords coming out, and this is not going to be something that he's going to be... I mean, even if he can get the 4th base over there, which he doesn't even have a 4th command center right now, he's not likely going to be able to hold it against the sieged up Broodlords.
He only wants to know exactly when the 4th base is being taken. That 2nd, 3rd upgrade is already been started for the Terran. He's trying to get his armor upgrade. But the Zerg is now maxed out. He's 50 supply ahead. He has the army. He has the economy. Should maybe get rid of a few drones. He doesn't need this many, but at this point it does not matter all that much, as long as he makes sure that the Terran player is never able to max out completely on army supply.
By the way, I wanted to mention an SCV went to make the 4th command center, and he was blocked by that Ling. He still hasn't cleaned it up. He's using all of his scans, meanwhile clearing up creep in the middle of the map. He's done a good job at denying all the creep. The Zerg's creep has been insane, but he has not stopped clearing it. He's been relentless with all of his scanning and attacking. Here we go, Ultralisks from the right, Lings from the left, and a lot of Banelings to support them. Lings going in first to tank the damage, and here come the Banes. He's going to need a great split here. It's decent, and the tank firing was okay, but there's just too many Zerg units again.
This attack was way too well executed. He led the charge with the Ultralisk exactly as you have to, and took the siege tank shots at the same time, moving the Zerglings in from the left, also making sure that his opponent couldn't retreat. The Banelings as the last hit, basically. We just saw Entombed Valley being the anvil, and the Zerg forces the hammer. The Terran didn't stand a chance in this fight.
Yeah, not a chance. And he lost all of the Medivacs this time, which means that his supply plummets down to 115 versus the 190. Medivac count now at 4. He's forced to remake those. His gas is high enough. He's got 900 of it, but he doesn't have the minerals. Still no 4th base. The 4th command center actually made now at the 3rd base. Just started. He must have realized that there's a Ling there. Still hasn't cleared that up. It's something he's going to have to do eventually.
Nice. Transfusing here. I love this. Really great play by the Zerg. The Terran is actually holding his own, but the thing is that he's so far behind that, as you pointed out earlier, taking a 4th is not an option. He has to. He's kind of forced to. But I would be very surprised if the Zerg player is not immediately punishing.
Yeah, he's not going to allow it. He just has too many units. Starting to get +1 for his infested Terrans. Getting +2 out for his air units. He's going to be making that Broodlord switch fairly soon. Going to go for a small Ling drop over here.
7 bases now for the Zerg. He has 3 additional ones to the top left. He's going for every single upgrade that he has. Every single one in the book. +2 attack for the air units. He's going for +1 range. Drop play and attempt being shut down immediately. Another one dropping into the spine crawlers.
Not a chance.
No, there's too much.
And this Ling drop on the right side is actually probably just going to be for him to free up supply to make Corruptors. He's got a ton of Lings in these drops. How much damage it does is actually a mystery. I don't think it's going to be able to do too much.
With the defense that he set up, by the way, this looks also a little bit like this could be, for example, Lucky, but I don't think it's going to be an FNXO player. And just from the creep spread, which Lucky is not that much known for as TSL Zergs, I really think this could be TSL. But this is a style that Lucky likes to play recently.
Yeah. And he's going to clean up one of the E-bays. It's not too important considering the upgrades are finished. He spread creep here, annoyingly. Takes a full minute for that to recede, and he's also got the Lings burrowed.
Lucky was, by the way, a little bit sad that Gumiho was all killing his Slayers because he was the 2nd player. He told me afterwards that I'm 2nd player, I want to play. Gumiho too good.
Oh, he doesn't have a scan here to kill this Ling, even though he has a sensor tower to see it. And he just dropped a ton of mules.
Yeah, those mules are losing a lot of time now too.
Yeah. Oh man, such a terrible, terrible moment here for the Terran. He drops, scans, cleans it up, but he's lost so much mule time.
And the Zerg is immediately on the move. He's like, what? We're really trying to take it? Okay, come here, let's fight.
This is a tough composition to fight this location, though. There's a lot of sieged up tanks, and our Kespa Terran is not out of this yet. He's been able to almost max. But the bank for the Zerg is the scariest part. Look at how many bases he has covered. He has every single base at the top.
70 Zerg, 70 lava, and even if he loses his army, he can immediately rebuild it. That would actually be one... I mean, it's a little bit risky, but there was one thing that you can do. But here come the Broodlords. That's what he was waiting for.
Yep, and now he can siege up this location, and there's no Vikings. Not a single Viking out on the map.
He doesn't have
him out of position. No anti-air. The center tower goes down. He's going to lift that orbital pretty soon. Actually going to fight with the Ultralisk here with some Fungals. And this could be an okay trade, especially... Oh, with those Fungals, it definitely will be. He may actually just kill him here. With the Broodlords coming to follow up, he needs just a few more Fungals.
It's more about the follow-up that's going to hit him. The Zerglings are already being produced, and the army for the Terran is dwindling. There are not a lot of Marines left. He might be able to do a lot of damage, but with the Queens he can't just transfuse. There is still enough energy for additional Fungals. The SCVs have been taken out.
Yep, Broodlord's coming down here. He doesn't have enough for this this wave of Marines. Queen's coming in here trying to help out the Ultras. If they go in, actually, he may be able to take this out.
It's not even so much about this fight, even though it's happening right now. It's about the follow-up that is already being prepared. Half of the units that he wants to send in with the second wave are on the map already, and he still has 3,000. 7 Ultralisks are now being made, and yes, here are the Zerglings. There's the GG as our Zerg player takes game number 1.
Well, that was a pretty straight-up game.
Yeah.
A few poor engagements from the Terran, and the Zerg just took control. Great creep spread, aggressive composition, and I think the most important part was when the Banelings blew up in the main base and killed those SCVs. He couldn't produce all of the units he needed to defend the aggression.
That was a really cool game, and I'm still sticking with the idea of a TLSL Zerg. That might actually be... That might be simple.
Yeah, it could be.
And with the late game, Hyun usually tries to end it a little bit earlier. So it could also be Hyun. We've seen great games out of Hyun as well. They are all known for spreading creep like this. They are known for this composition. But Hyun is usually a little bit more aggressive in the mid game. But the next map is going to be Daybreak. And well, let's find out if our Terran player from the Kespa team is able to get back into the match and can actually tie the series and force Ohana. The players currently joined the lobby. I'm not quite sure if they're ready. Apparently they are.
Yeah. It looks like it's just telling him to change his color to blue, and they say GGO, go, go.
So we're ready.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah, here we go. The countdown is loading, guys, and this is the second game. And don't forget, one of the GSL players already advanced, a Protoss player, in fact, and he's already in the final. Now we are determining his opponent. It's either going to be a Terran or a Zerg. And now we are on Daybreak. The map is loading, so let's start with the match. It is game number 2 between player B and player D.